Imagine you're at an airport, thousands of people rushing past. Flights landing, flights taking off, and in the middle of all that chaos, a dog is sitting, just sitting, waiting. He's been there for hours, then days. People walk by, some stop and stare. Some even try to pet him, but he doesn't move. He doesn't follow anyone. He just keeps his eyes locked on that one door, that one arrival gate, waiting for someone who isn't coming back. And here's the thing that broke the internet when this story came out. This dog had no idea. He had no idea that the person he was waiting for was already gone. And that right there, that one sentence, is what made millions of people around the world stop scrolling and just cry. So stay with me, because this story is going to hit you in a way you did not expect. And there's a twist at the end that nobody talks about. You're watching Logic Unlocked, and if stories like this move you, hit that subscribe button right now and smash that like button. Because we find the most powerful true stories and we break them down in a way that stays with you long after the video ends. Let's go back to where this all started. The dog's name was Capitan. He was a German shepherd, and he lived in Argentina with a family in the city of Villa Carlos Paz. His owner was a man named Miguel. Miguel had adopted Capitan back in 2005 as a gift for his son Damien, who was just a young kid at the time. From that day forward, Capitan and Miguel were inseparable. You know how some people say a dog chooses its owner? That's exactly what happened here. Capitan followed Miguel everywhere. He slept near him. He sat with him in the evenings. He was just always there. That quiet, steady kind of loyalty that dogs have that humans honestly struggle to match. Then in March of 2006, Miguel Guzman passed away. He died unexpectedly. The family was devastated. They were grieving, trying to hold themselves together. And in all of that pain, they realized something. Capitan was gone. The dog had just disappeared. They searched around the house, around the neighborhood. Nothing. They assumed maybe he had run away. Maybe the grief of losing his owner had confused him. Maybe he just wandered off. But then, about a week after Miguel's funeral, the family went to visit his grave at the local cemetery. And there, sitting right next to Miguel's grave, was Capitan. Just sitting there, head low, quiet, waiting. The family was completely stunned. How did he even know? Miguel's grave was miles from their home. Capitan had never been taken to that cemetery. No one had walked him there. There was no trail, no scent path that anyone could logically explain. And yet somehow, this dog had found his owner's grave on his own. The cemetery staff confirmed it. They said Capitan had shown up on his own. Around the same time the family came for the burial, and he had refused to leave since then. Now here's where the story gets even deeper. The cemetery director, a man named Hector, said that his staff had started feeding Capitan because the dog simply would not go home. Every night, when the cemetery gates closed, Capitan would wait just outside, and every morning when they opened, he would walk back in and sit by Miguel's grave. This went on for years, not days, not weeks, years. The family tried multiple times to bring Capitan back home. They took him back to the house where he had lived with Miguel. They gave him food, they gave him warmth, they tried everything. But every single time, Capitan found his way back to that cemetery, back to that grave, as if he had made a decision and nothing was going to change it. Damien, Miguel's son, who had originally received Capitan as a gift, said something in an interview that I think about a lot. He said, "We thought he was lost, but he wasn't lost at all. He knew exactly where he was going." Think about that for a second. The dog wasn't confused. He wasn't wandering. He made a choice. He chose to stay close to the only person he had ever truly bonded with, even after that person was gone. Even when staying meant sleeping outside cemetery gates in the cold. Even when staying meant giving up a warm home and a family that loved him. Now I want you to pause for a moment and really sit with what that means. We live in a world where loyalty is constantly tested, where people leave when things get hard, where relationships fall apart over the smallest things. And here is a dog, an animal, demonstrating a level of devotion that most humans will never experience in their entire lives. Capitan didn't need a reason to stay. He didn't need anything in return. Tajed? That's Italiano. Pure, uncomplicated love. And that's exactly the kind of story that Logic Unlocked exists to share. Because these are the stories that make you stop and ask yourself, what do I actually believe about loyalty, about love, about connection? Now here's the part of the story that most videos skip over. And this is the part that genuinely wrecked me when I found it. Years passed. Capitan continued his vigil. The cemetery staff became like a second family to him. They fed him. They looked after him. They gave him a little shelter near the grave. Local news covered the story. It spread across Argentina, then around the world. People came from other cities just to see Capitan. Some people left flowers not just from McGill, but for the dog sitting beside his grave. And then, in 2018, Capitan passed away. He died of old age, peacefully, right there in the cemetery. The staff buried him next to Miguel. The two of them, owner and dog, reunited in the same ground. When I read that, I had to just stop for a minute, because there's something so quietly perfect about that ending. He waited, he stayed. And when his time came, he went home. Not back to the house, not back to the family. He went home to where he had always felt closest to Miguel, right there beside him. The story of Capitan traveled across the world for a reason. It's not just a dog story. It's a story about what it means to truly love someone. It's a story about grief and loyalty and showing up even when there's nothing left to show up for. Capitan never got another treat for sitting at that grave. He never got praised or rewarded. He did it because that's just who he was. And honestly, if we're being real about it, that kind of love is rare. Even among people. Especially among people. There's a reason stories like this break through all the noise. In a world full of distraction and short attention spans and people moving on from everything so fast, a dog sitting at a grave for over a decade makes you stop. It makes you think about the people in your life. It makes you think about whether you show up for the people who matter to you the way Capitan showed up for Miguel. Not when it's convenient. Not when there's something in it for you. Just because you chose them and that choice never expired. Here at Logic Unlocked, we believe the most powerful lessons don't come from textbooks or lectures. They come from moments like this. From a German shepherd in Argentina who quietly, without any fanfare, showed the entire world what unconditional love actually looks like. No words, no grand gestures. Day after day after day. So here's what I want to ask you, and I genuinely want to know your answer. Do you think animals feel love the same way humans do? Or do you think what Capitan had was something even deeper? Something even more pure than what most of us are capable of? Drop your answer in the comments right now, because I read every single one, and this conversation is always the best part of making these videos. And if this story moved you even a little, please share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Send it to a friend, post it, share it wherever you are, because stories like Capitan's deserve to travel as far as they can go. That's all from Logic Unlocked for today. Take care of the people you love, and maybe take care of your dog a little extra today too.